with the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Y'all need to come join us. We have so many fun things every night of the week. From Monday night, steak night, Tuesday night, karaoke, Wednesday night, we have Singo Bingo, Thursday night is bike night. Of course, we've got live music on the weekends, so y'all come join us. Meridian Street Crossing, we've got Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Come on next door to the Rocket City Honky Tonk, where we've got honky tonk music all night long. Y'all come join us. We'd love to see you.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
This summer, we make HVAC history as Sensagreen Heating, Cooling, and Insulation celebrates our country's 250th birthday. Happy birthday, America! In honor of crossing the Delaware River and kicking Cornwallis out of Yorktown, Sensagreen now offers $1,776 off new HVAC systems. Give me liberty and a new HVAC smart system this summer at Sensagreen with Brian. Whatever it takes, just like our founding fathers. USA! USA! USA!
Alabama license number 12705/52808.
The Orthopedic Center. It's in the name. TOC, the premier choice for all your orthopedic needs. With over 40 physicians and 20 centers of excellence, TOC is the name to trust for complete, expert orthopedic care. And that word center, we mean it. With more than a dozen locations across North Alabama and the Tennessee Valley, TOC is in your community whenever you need us. As the state's largest orthopedic practice, TOC is built on trust. Trust we've earned with every patient we serve. You can see that trust on the field, too. As the official sports medicine provider for the Huntsville Havoc, Huntsville City Football Club, Oakwood and Alabama A&M universities, thousands of athletes and coaches count on TOC to keep them in the game. From student athletes to unexpected injuries, our urgent ortho clinics offer prompt, expert care. No appointment necessary. So remember, when it comes to your health and mobility, trust the name that says it all. TOC, helping you live a better life.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Welcome to Southern Wagyu Steakhouse and Meat Market in Huntsville. From hand-cut premium steaks and chef-crafted Southern favorites to phenomenal made-from-scratch desserts and restaurant-quality meats you can take home. Every meal is made with passion and served with genuine Southern hospitality. Join us for lunch or dinner. Attend a monthly 5-course supper club or stop by to stock up your grill. You'll see that we deliver excellence from prep to plate. Southern Wagyu Steakhouse and Meat Market, corner of Highway 72 East and Jordan Road. Come taste the difference.
The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. This hour of The Drive is brought to you by Lynn Leighton Ford, located online at lynnleightonford.com. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll, and I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
So the last words I said yesterday was "Go USA." All right? Don't let anybody tell you anything other.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden I watched the first 10 minutes and was like, oh.
They didn't get the memo that there was a game.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, El Presidente didn't help him very much.
Couldn't help him on that one.
So you're going there.
Yeah.
You're going there.
Yeah, always. Bring it. I'm right here.
The one game that the Knicks lost during the NBA, really, is the one he was there for. So it's a transitive property now?
Yeah,
Is it Talk Radio WZZN is our HD.2 channel?
I think he's a little busy to worry about soccer.
El Presidente.
Well, he got him. He got one of our best players out of the red card.
Loaned him some lawyers to go find out how to do it.
Well, if he did that, great, because it was an worst call I've ever seen.
Well, but you're this soccer expert now.
I'm not a soccer expert.
I don't know if that was a good or a bad call.
It was easy. I mean, because the same thing happened. I've watched more soccer than I have my entire life.
And you know what? In 4 years' time, I'll probably watch as much soccer. But I'll tell you this: like today's day game, didn't watch a second of it.
You missed one of the greatest games ever.
I get that, and that's what I've heard.
Wouldn't say I missed it, Bob.
but I mean, I will tell you that I equate it to either your team gets bounced out of the NCAA men's basketball tournament or women's basketball tournament,
right?
Or the Braves get bounced from the playoffs. You just kind of, all right.
Or the Hawks, or the Falcons.
Well, I'm used to that with the Hawks. Today started Big 12 Media Day.
Woo.
Today. Yeah. Big 12 Media Day. Brett Yormark. The first question.
Hi, Commissioner. I'm Jerry Ramirez from RedRaidersports.com. I was wondering...
How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Don't ask it. Don't ask it.
Well, I'm thrilled you're here today.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Don't ask it.
Just curious if throughout the Brendan Sorsby situation, if you supported Texas Tech at any point throughout that, and if that changed, what may have caused you to change your mind on that?
Let me start off by saying I appreciate the question. I appreciate other questions that are probably going to come forth today.
Yeah.
Today is not the time.
No.
To address that issue.
No.
Today is about celebrating the upcoming football season and celebrating our 16 schools. But I appreciate the question, so thank you. But I appreciate the question, so thank you.
That's one of the nicest no comments I've heard in a while.
Yes. He declared them the best conference in the...
Yeah, the deepest. He went there again. The deepest conference.
It's deep, all right, what he's saying,
I appreciate the question. Every question, there were some ridiculous questions, but at the end of it, at the end of each question...
But I appreciate the question, so thank you.
It's a legitimately fair question to ask. You had to know you were going. The fact that it was first up out of the gate as well made me think that they didn't put a plan out there
to ask the question, to go ahead and knock it out.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, was he was in a little bit of a mood. Actually, there was a breakaway. Where did I read this? This was from Nicole Auerbach, our friend of the program. Nicole Auerbach. Deion Sanders spoke to a small group of reporters, had a great line about Colorado's season opener in Atlanta at Georgia Tech. Quote, I can't wait till we get to Atlanta. We have a curfew on the coaches, not the players.
That's the truth.
I wish I would have gotten that. Instead, we get questions like this to Coach Prime.
David Ubben with The Athletic. A few of the coaches in college football are not in the video game. You're one of them. I was curious why that was and what went into that decision.
I don't know about the video games. I have a wonderful team that handles a lot of business for me. If I'm not in the game, that means they weren't paying enough.
Period.
It probably didn't fit where we're going right now. That's probably it. It was probably that simplistic. Thank you, Athletic. You guys do a wonderful job. You know I'm lying, right? Next.
If you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll go to front row.
I mean, I just went left turn on The Athletic right there. Woo! Woo!
And here's an elbow.
Coach Prime did offer this from, I think it's a student reporter that was there in Frisco.
Hi, I'm Skylar Jar with the Colorado Buffaloes on a side. So what is one area where you expect your team to surprise people this coming up season?
Oh, we better win. That's going to be the surprise. That's the surprise. We better win. And we're going to win. I love what I got. I love what I see.
So that is Coach Prime saying it is winning time in Boulder.
I think there'll be more of the same. Just
more of the same?
Inconsistency.
Oh, okay.
They're very inconsistent from game to game. They play really good quarters. Hardly ever do they play a whole really
How good of a
fourth
coach
quarter.
is Coach Prime?
I
or
think
does,
he's good. I've done it.
Or does he lean on his assistants, if you know what I mean?
I'm not close enough, but you better have good assistants if you're going to win in college football.
Oh, absolutely.
If you don't, you have no chance. So I think he's been very up and down in Colorado, but hell, they only won one game before he got there.
That's right.
It's not like the best, the best university there is. And I love a lot of things he does, holding the kids accountable, the players, and for different things, and I like that. But some of the stuff I don't like is, some of the things he says I think is a little gruff in a way. Like, the athletic thing, I think he handled that better than he normally does. Or the way he handled his Shador. I think it cost Shador a lot of money.
You do?
Yeah, but because he's going to be involved and he stays involved and he always comments and it causes controversy. And the one thing you don't want in an NFL room, NFL locker room, or a college locker room is controversy.
Yeah.
You want just everybody focused on winning the football game. And nothing else should matter. And that's what made, I think, Coach Saban one of the best coach ever. Or Coach Bryant did it a little differently.
Well, you might like this. I've got one other cut that I pulled from Dion or Coach Prime or whatever he wants to be known as. It's Coach Sanders. This is another soundbite that I pulled from today's press conference in Frisco.
Roster breakdown, 104. 83 scholarships, 21 walk-ons. I love my walk-ons. How many of you cried at the movie Rudy? I did. I'm sorry, I did. When Rudy got in, it was over for me. That was it. So I love my walk-ons dearly. I think we've 2 or 3 on the staff, on the team right now on the roster. We're walk-ons. They're on scholarship right now. We hope to continue that as well. We had over 3.0 GPA this spring, highest GPA in CU history.
See, so that's what I'm talking about. That's what I love.
Yeah.
He knows.
That's the reason I wanted to play that.
There's 1 or 2 guys on every team, not every team, on big schools that are playing the NFL more than 2.5 years, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
On most schools. And so your education is what's gonna put you in places, and when you play football and stay at the right school, the school for 4 years, it adds a lot of benefit to the rest of your life, and that we're losing that, and that and anybody. You can argue with me to the day is done, to the day, about the transfer portal and people getting paid. And I'll say that they're throwing a lot of money away is what's happening right now. 100%. I mean, the money that a lot of these kids aren't getting to keep a lot of the money for whatever reason, whether that be uncles, cousins, mamas and daddies, and that need help. I have no problem with that part of it, but it needs to be more organized than it is.
Way more organized.
Yeah, I mean, it's so unorganized that these kids aren't paying their taxes. They're not.
Yeah, and they're going back to the schools saying, "Hey, I need more money to pay my taxes."
Yeah. I mean,
Me too, actually.
Me three.
Yeah.
Speaking as a 38-year senior.
Oh, it's a 38. 38. Okay.
Sounds like you need to go play at Vanderbilt.
Well, I'm there enough.
So anyway,
Kenny Dillingham was also featured at Arizona State, and something frankly, there's only so much in terms of the transfer portal that I follow. I had no idea that Cutter Boley, the Kentucky quarterback, landed at Arizona State. I promise he did, and he was asked about it earlier today.
What was it about Cutter?
Yeah, so I recruited him to Oregon when I was there, and I just remember he was a really good athlete. You know, people don't give him enough credit for his athleticism. He's a very good athlete, was a good basketball player, and then he had all the arm strength and all the ability of what he could do. And then when he went in the portal, watching his tape really fast, but I remembered who he was, and I remembered a lot about him from his visit out there to Oregon. So it was somebody that I knew I wanted to target from the beginning.
That is Kenny Dillingham from Arizona State. And, of course, they made a playoff run 2 years ago. And last year it was Texas Tech, but not so much on last year. But this offseason for Joey McGuire and, of course, some guy named Sorsby.
I understand all the reasons that Tech supported Brendan Sorsby the way they did. But did any of it come at a cost to your reputation, or those things that you have to do? Restoration?
That's a great question, man. It's good to see you too. And it's tough. You know, the me, they went through a lot. Like, if you look as a whole, there were not a lot of coaches that said really a whole lot. You know, there was some funny jabs taken by some coaches, but there wasn't a lot of coaches that just really came out and said a lot of different things. And so for my peers, I got a lot of support. You know, Eric Morris, the first day any news broke, called me and said, "Hey, man, I'm just doing a well check." He's a good friend of mine. Kalani is a great friend of mine. Said the same thing. Kenny Dillingham made a joke in a group text and then called me and said, "You know, I was kidding." I said, "Kenny, dude, I get it, man." So for me, my peers, I had so much support from my peers. And it was tough to you know, see Kirby and President Skubanek have to go through that. And so, you know, I hate that for them. You know, the thing that we really try to focus on is the Red Raiders and our alumni base and our boosters. And so that's who, you know, whenever I've talked to, answered any emails, text, or anything like that, those are the ones that I'm concerned to make sure they understand where we were coming from.
That is Joey McGuire, Texas Tech head football coach. Texas Tech had quite the offseason because for those that may not remember, the fact that Texas Tech wanted to buy out the opponent of the Texas Longhorns, and they were going to let their first opponent play Texas's opponent so Texas Tech could play Texas. Do you remember this a couple of months ago?
Yeah, I remember that rigmarole. That was that was just nothing. Nobody's going to do that. So,
well, they clearly have money out there in Texas.
Well, they clearly have. Texas Tech has more money than sense, and all the stuff they've been doing.
Here is what Coach McGuire had to say on playing them Hook'em Horns.
Donovan Bridgeford, TXA and 24 News. I want to ask about some of the jabs from Steve Sarkisian, head coach of Texas Longhorns, and how serious you were about getting that first game on the schedule, and if we could see that in the future.
Yeah, first spot the ball, man. Like, we're ready to go right now. We'll play tomorrow. You know, we don't need any film study or anything like that, man. I know they don't either. They got a great football team. one of the best teams in the country. They're going to be really good this year. You know, the thing, I have a lot of respect for Sark, for people that have covered the University of Texas for a long time. You know, what he's been able to do to be successful and sustain success, it's hard to do. You know, Mac Brown was the last coach to be able to do what he's doing, you know, and before that, y'all would have to help me of who was before that other than Darryl Rule that literally had the success that Sark's having. And so I have a lot of respect for him. If you go back and you look on record, I've said continuously, I think he's one of the best play callers, you know, in the game today. You know, and shoot, we were texting the other day. Jeff Traylor put me and Sark in a group text. There's a Division I panel at the THSCA coaching school, and he wants to sit between us. I told Jeff he's going to have to step up his sports coach game if he's going to sit between me and Sark, because Sark's probably going to have that burnt orange sports coat, and I'm going to wear this one or wear a red one. You know, but I want to play him. Man, I'm a Texan. I was born in Texarkana, Texas, in Wadley Regional Medical Center. In 1971, I grew up in the Southwest Conference. Texas and Texas Tech are supposed to play. Texas and Texas A&M are supposed to play, and they are playing. You know, SMU is supposed to play. I'd love to play Rhett Lashley. I mean, if you're a Texan and you're a fan of the football in this state, then why would we go outside the state to play non-conference games if we're not in conference anymore? Because you have such good football in this state. And so I would love to play Texas A&M. You know, SMU's not in the conference. I would love to play those guys just because I think it's great for the state of Texas. It's great for the high school coaches and the high school players in the state of Texas. You know, and that might be one reason that we have so many kids leaving the state is because we're not playing each other anymore. You know, I remember whenever I was a high school coach, you know, growing up through the system that, you know, you didn't have as many kids leaving the state. Well, it's probably because the doors are open because we're playing so many other out of conference instead of playing each other.
Coach, thank you for your time today and good luck this season.
That was, of course, the last question asked there to Coach Joey McGuire. But we'll.
Well, I don't know why Texas would want to play a harder schedule, but I understand why Texas Tech does. Maybe they should schedule some people like in the years to come when you make out your schedule instead of talking about, I want to play Texas now. I mean, come on. That's so stupid.
But I appreciate the question, so thank you.
I mean, they can put better people on their schedule.
They can.
Yeah, but, you know, that's just I just hear BS. They're responsible for their schedule. They act like everybody else could do their schedule. Oh, we want to play Texas now. Oh, well, good for you. It's just so serious. Ooh, that ought to get you some votes on the you know.
This ought to get your dander up a little bit. Brett Yormark, back this was halfway through the question and answer, was asked about the expansion of the college football playoffs.
When it comes to the playoff, I mean, it appeared the Big 12 and the ACC were on the side of a 16-team format several months ago. It appears that has flipped. The desire for more access really hasn't changed. What were the factors that made you shift towards the 24? The secondary questions, if we do go 24, looks like we lose the Big 12 championship game. Is that just a collateral damage that you're willing to accept?
Well, first of all, great question. I liked 16 initially as I learned more about it, obviously without the additional AQs, okay? When 24 became part of the conversation, we've done our own conference due diligence around it. And we think it might be a great fit for us. We discussed it most recently in our spring business meeting with our coaches. Across the board, they liked it. And we continue to have those conversations with our ADs and our presidents. We do need to understand the economics. Is there a marketplace to go to 24? We have to understand the scheduling dynamic and what that means. and the unintended consequences, which I said earlier. As it relates to our championship game, I think I've said it before, that's a huge tentpole event for us. I mean, we had over 85,000 attend last year, and our ratings were up 39%. It's a big deal for us. And there are economics that go with that champ game. So as we consider 24, we've got to look at what we have and what potentially we might gain and ultimately make the best decision for the Big 12. But everything's on the table.
Everything is on the table. I really hope 24 is not where we're headed.
Well,
I know. I
mean, I don't think they know, so I don't know how anybody else would know.
I think it'd be a big mistake.
Well, I think it's already a mistake. This is already a disaster. Have you not figured that out? This whole thing is
12.
Absolute disaster. It's the whole
12
thing.
isn't awful to me.
The whole college football is a disaster. Have you not figured that out yet?
I don't think 12 is awful.
Well, 12 is ridiculous. Did you see the first round games last year?
Yeah,
they weren't competitive.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
Well, this is what happens when you let in James Madison and Tulane.
100%. The whole thing is a disaster. And now the colleges they're one step away from losing money. You hear when we talk to the athletic directors, the sense of urgency to fix this before it's too late.
Yeah.
And all they're talking about is 12, 24. Who cares? They've already watered down the game. They're going to go to 16, I think. I think that's what's going to end up being the thing. But if we go to 24, there'll be 4 lost teams in there. Or there'll be a bunch of James Madisons in there that are awful.
And then we're just
and listen.
Then we're down the Mike Leach slippery slope of. Well, he wanted 64 back in the day. Remember?
Well, yeah, of course. And then Mississippi State can make it. I get it. Yeah, I mean the coaches get to keep their job. They make the playoffs. The athletic directors keep their job. That's what when they talk about financially. That makes sense. That's what they're talking about for them.
Yeah.
There's nothing financially making sense right now.
There was a report from
basketball is losing money now.
Yeah. Charlie Baker, the NCAA president, hinted earlier this week of taking a regional approach to college athletics with the exception of college football. He said that has been a big talking point across college sports in general when you factor in realignment. And, of course, he is mainly talking about the Big Ten and the ACC and those wide areas to make it more regionally based on every other sport except for football. Thought that was an interesting article that I read from On3 earlier in the week as well. Something to keep an eye on here moving forward. We did not talk too much yesterday about Auburn and Alabama's joint statement opposing the Protect College Sports Act.
Auburn and Alabama
agree.
Yeah.
To disagree on the Protect College Sports Act. And I noticed Senator / Coach Tuberville immediately retweeted, tagged both universities, and penned his support to both the University of Alabama and Auburn University on their statement in particular on why they do not like the Protect College Sports Act. Well, Brett Yormark was asked about that in particular. In fact, someone who spoke to the committee in the second round is going to join us in about 35 minutes. Derek Mason, head coach at Middle Tennessee State University. He spoke to Senators Cruz and Cantwell, and we were at the furniture factory when I called him because he did not. He's usually very good about responding to my text messages. Called him that day, and he picked up, and you could hear the nerves I have no idea what it's like to prep in terms of getting ready to talk to the Senate or a committee up on the Hill. So we'll talk to the Blue Raiders head football coach coming up in hour number 2. But I'll let you hear what Brett Yormark had to say on the Protect College Sports Act coming up on the other side. Your phone calls are certainly welcome at 256-576-4977.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Abraham here for my good friend Bobby White at Lynn Leighton Ford, where you never find some mysterious dock fee that can be like $600, $700, or $800. A dock fee is an add-on that some dealers will charge just to do the paperwork on your deal. Now, Wes and I just bought F-150s at Lynn Leighton, and we're amazed at the ease of getting the deal done. Transparency is important in buying these days, and that's what you get at Lynn Leighton Ford in Decatur. Lynn Leighton offers an extensive new and pre-owned inventory, as well as lease specials, finance options, and expert auto service. They are dedicated to providing exceptional customer service and are an integral part of our community. Believe me, it is worth the short ride over to Decatur to see what Lynn Leighton Ford has to offer, just a mile west of the Beltline on 6th. At Lynn Leighton, there are no mystery fees, just great prices. It's the Lynn Leighton way. We made the move, and so should you, to Lynn Leighton Ford.
This summer, we make HVAC history as Sensagreen Heating, Cooling, and Insulation celebrates our country's 250th birthday. Happy birthday, America! In honor of crossing the Delaware River and kicking Cornwallis out of Yorktown, Sensagreen now offers $1,776 off new HVAC systems. Give me liberty and a new HVAC smart system this summer at Sensagreen with Bryant. Whatever it takes, just like our founding fathers. USA! USA! USA!
Alabama license number 12705/52808.
AL cert number 21014.
Welcome into the hottest and coolest game show around called The Freeze. Today's contestant, Bob. Bob, can you tell me the heating and air business that provides free service with repair?
Is it Talent Heating and Air Conditioning?
Can you tell me which heating and air business provides free second opinions?
Talent Heating and Air Conditioning.
You are our grand prize winner. You have won a visit from the #1 heating and air business in the Tennessee Valley.
Talent Heating and Air Conditioning?
That's right. Talent Heating and Air is coming to you.
This is Thomas with Talent Heating and Air Conditioning, and you don't have to win a game show to use us. We have free second opinions year-round, and we're doing free service calls with a repair. So just remember, call Talent Heating and Air Conditioning at 256-503-4490 or visit us on our website at talenthvac.com.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. I know your accident is the real thing, and they happen to real people.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. There's a lot of talk right now about bigger, but when you've had a wreck, is bigger better?
I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. Do you want to be just a case number?
With offices in Huntsville and Scottsboro, we take the time to help.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
For over 50 years, our mission, do the right thing and make long-term decisions. We value our customers, and we invest in supporting them.
TLG is consistently adding services to our own technologies to automate and provide the best support possible to you.
We have the strongest guarantees in the industry. You can't just tell people you're going to provide good support. You have to prove it with your actions.
Talking Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings beginning at 7 a.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Back here with you on The Drive. Been a minute since I heard this song.
We're reaching back a little bit.
I appreciate
expand the old milk crate here.
They put a parking lot on a piece of land.
Where the supermarket used to stand.
256-576-4977 is the telephone number. There was a moment that happened at the very beginning of Big 12 Media Days. And so you go around and they tell you at the very beginning that you need to stand and state your name and your affiliation. Well, there was a number of, I'd say at least 4 or 5 that just sat down. But with this question in particular, the commissioner of the Big 12 made him stand up. So this has garnered a little bit of attention on the social medias.
Sean Dillon, Rocket Brigade. Commission, Texas Tech got fined over tortillas, and tortillas were banned outright. OSU paddles broke an always maker rule, has a tradition exemption. Sorsby never played a snap for the Red Raiders. Big 12 sued them anyway, while Cincinnati hasn't been yet touched. You're selling greater than 12. Why should Texas Tech fans believe it?
I know. The question. I mean,
going all the way to Mount Pilot for that bowl of pop.
So
was that
was.
I'm not sure.
Hang on. He's going to have to repeat it.
Can you sit? Let me come closer to you. Stand up.
Stand up.
Ask that question again, and I'm going to give you the answer I want to give you. So go ahead.
Texas Tech got fined for tortillas, and tortillas were banned outright.
They did. They got fined for that. Throwing tortillas on.
had paddles that were given a noisemaker exemption back in 2012. Sorsby never played a snap for the Red Raiders, and yet there is a lawsuit. Cincinnati has yet to be touched. You're selling greater than 12. Why should Texas Tech fans believe them?
No, I didn't say greater than 12. You misquoted me. I said we're going forward as 16 strong, and that's my answer to your question.
Oh, and then he says...
But thank you for that question.
I still don't know what...
I really don't know exactly what the reporter was asking.
Sean Dillon, Rocket Brigade. Commission, Texas Tech got fined over tortillas.
That's true.
And tortillas were banned.
So tortillas, that was one of the things that they did at Texas Tech is throw tortilla chips onto the field.
No, what fajitas?
Well, they ain't you're allowed to throw golf balls and oranges, but not tortillas, I guess.
And mustard.
Yeah, mustard.
OSU paddles broke an always maker rule, has a tradition exemption. Sorsby never played a snap for the Red Raiders.
Oh.
Big 12 sued them anyway, while Cincinnati hasn't been yet touched. You're selling greater than 12. Why should Texas Tech fans believe it?
I don't understand the question either. I know that was English right there, but that was a very poorly.
12, is he not talking about the playoffs? I don't get it.
I don't know.
But he acted like he understood at the end. I don't know.
Well, at the very end, we always get what we get from the commissioner of the Big 12.
But I appreciate the question, so thank you.
Yeah, he appreciates the question.
Kind of like the response of, "You're going to get the answer I give you."
That was one of my favorite parts. Could you stand up and ask that question again? Then I'm going to give you the answer that I want to give you.
But I appreciate the question, so thank you.
See, and it's jokers like that make it harder for people that actually have some tangible questions to get straightforward answers.
Hadn't got with Drew about his
question. You know what I get in return?
Limit explosive plays. And
That's what I get.
Right after explosive plays.
Yeah.
As a team.
And he just picks it right up. Thanks, Lane.
Still lied about the dog.
Yes, he did.
Man, we got him. I'm texting Drew right now.
I did not bring it up at today's meeting, but I will.
No, I don't want it in a meeting. I don't want it.
We're 2 weeks
to get out.
We're 2 weeks away.
I'm gonna quit talking about it after today.
Well, communication's key.
Yeah.
Limit explosive plays and.
Okay. Here we go. Here we go.
When is Lane? What day is he there?
Ooh. Actually, speaking of SEC Media Days, we're going to be busy. I got an email this afternoon from the fine folks at the SEC office. They sent me an itinerary. Now, I know we usually do stuff,
Well, we've got itineraries before.
Well, not like this. How about Monday night's festivities closed with fireworks?
Heck yeah.
The city of Tampa is putting on a fireworks display for the media members down in Tampa.
Go big or go home.
Yet they had problems trying to figure out which coins they were going to select to redo the baseball stadium.
What coins?
Well, because that hurricane that went through the Tampa Bay area a couple of years ago that made the Rays play at the Yankees home or training facility last year. Well, they did fix it, and they are back in their home this year. Let's see here. Sunday, do you want me to go through this? Sunday, SEC Fan Fest kickoff live broadcast from Ford Thunder Alley. Maybe Lynn Layton's part of this, and we don't. Ford Thunder Alley from 5 Eastern to 8:30 Eastern, open to the public. Monday, there is a SEC Media Days welcome party, an American social that goes from 6:30 to 9, closing with fireworks. There is a private event as well. Transportation is available. On Tuesday, another SEC Media Days social hour, as we have been invited to go to the Mark at the Benchmark Arena. I don't know. I guess that's where the Tampa Bay Lightning may play. And then there is a private event. And, of course, it's from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. So
live from the private event?
We're screwed.
Yeah, live from the private event.
You want me to ask if we can't set up from the private event?
A semi-private event.
And Wednesday, even though it goes to Thursday, Wednesday is the SEC Media Days closing party. And we have been cordially invited to attend the West Club at Raymond James Stadium. Transportation will be provided. Can't wait. Here we go.
Full schedule.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, you
Dallas did it up pretty good, didn't they?
Yeah,
that was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Well, one too many phone calls, but yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's inside joke right there.
Yeah.
256-576-4977, the telephone number. If you would like to participate. And again, coming up at the top of the hour, Coach Derek Mason, who was in the second round of the Cruz Cantwell committee hearings, is going to join us about his experience up there on Capitol Hill. And one subject, and I mentioned this last week, I don't think this is a one-off with Sorsby. The gambling issue, this is one thing in particular that is so readily available in today's world that it was not when we were growing up. So I am of the belief that gambling may be a bigger issue than we're even talking about here in the sports community. It was brought up to Commissioner Yormark today.
Hi, Commissioner Robert Aronoff, Knights 24/7. My question is, with the gambling situation that the conference dealt with in the past year, we had multiple parties making multiple assertions, threats, in a courtroom, including 2 different states' attorneys kind of weighing in on what was going to happen or what should happen. What is the conference doing as you look to celebrate this year and protect the game moving forward? What is the conference doing to ensure that the resolution of these situations happens within a byline or guidelines of the conference and not in a courtroom?
Listen, I appreciate the question. I'll just start off by saying integrity for the game is critically important. for all sports for this conference. We will continue to work with our student athletes to educate them and to help guide them in this new environment. You know, when I grew up, sports betting wasn't as available as it is today. It's a different world that student athletes are growing up in, and they need to be educated. And that's the role that we are taking alongside of our member institutions. But thank you for the question.
Thank you for the question.
Well,
I did notice when we were at the spring meetings.
A good answer.
Yeah, it was. But I did notice at the spring meetings that the SEC addressed it in a big way. And I brought some of the audio from that meeting in particular of just how closely, at least the Southeastern Conference, is working with the likes of ESPN Bet, FanDuel, pick one. I mean, just pick one. DraftKings. It's I know that there is a lot of people that gamble. I'm not one of them. Have I ever gambled? Yes, but I mean, I don't do it on a regular basis. So it's a big industry.
Yes, it is.
It is a gigantic industry. So I understand. It's, to me, though, a very slippery slope. But, I mean, you've seen the NFL have an official partner in it. And you're starting to see more and more professional.
NFL do anything for money now. I mean, dude gets a bonus based on how much money he brings in. He made $60 million last year.
You know, there's a name for people who do anything for money.
Yes.
I thought you were going to.
Is it Brian?
I know. No, I try not to use the dump button on myself.
Okay.
Kind of a rule.
256-576-4977. I thought we were going to get some breaking news right there. 256-576-4977. To me, I think the gambling issue and gambling and the agents, to me, are the two bigger factors moving forward for the health of what college sports looks like moving forward. So we will see. We will see. Let's take another time out. I may have a surprise guest on the other side. We'll see as we roll along. Coach Derek Mason joins us at the top of the hour. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. This hour of The Drive is brought to you by Lynn Leighton Ford, located online at lynnleightonford.com.
Tom Abraham here from my good friend Bobby White at Lynn Leighton Ford, where you never find some mysterious dock fee that could be like $600, $700, or $800. A dock fee is an add-on that some dealers will charge just to do the paperwork on your deal. Now, Wes and I just bought F-150s at Lynn Leighton, and we're amazed at the ease of getting the deal done. Transparency is important in buying these days, and that's what you get at Lynn Leighton Ford in Decatur. Lynn Leighton offers an extensive new and pre-owned inventory, as well as lease specials, finance options, and expert auto service. They are dedicated to providing exceptional customer service and are an integral part of our community. Believe me, it is worth the short ride over to Decatur to see what Lynn Leighton Ford has to offer, just a mile west of the Beltline on 6th. At Lynn Leighton, there are no mystery fees, just great prices. It's the Lynn Leighton way. We made the move, and so should you, to Lynn Leighton Ford.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com. These days, saving time is important, and saving money is even more so. That's where Eagle Masonry and Insulation comes in. Over the years, Eagle has expanded their services to meet the needs of folks like you in our area. If you need masonry, brick, stone, or block work, Eagle should be your first call. They can even help if your property needs grading, erosion control, and Eagle can handle dirt haul-off. Call Eagle Masonry and Insulation today at 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time, and Eagle saves you money.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at All About Water. Crazy name, huh? Well, let me introduce you to them. All About Water is the top pond builder anywhere in the Tennessee Valley, and that includes remodeling or cleaning out existing ponds as well. They also have monthly maintenance plans for your pond. Don't have a pond? Well, how about a fountain or water feature for your property to bring that soothing sound of running water to your happy place? On the other hand, maybe you have water on your property that you don't want. Well, Ryan at All About Water is all about water, so he could take care of that as well. He has a background in fluid dynamics, and what that means is that he could take care of any water issue that you have. Finally, how about that irrigation system that you have or that you want? Well, they do installs and maintenance and repairs on those as well because they are all about water. Learn more at allaboutwaterllc.com. That's allaboutwaterllc.com.
Talking Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings beginning at 7 a.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Coming up at the top of the hour after Sports Center, we'll hear from Coach Derek Mason about his testimony to the committee up in D.C., the Cruz Cantwell bill that continues to be talked about. In fact, the commissioner of the Big 12 today said that he was going to D.C. next week for further conversations. But David Cutcliffe is our surprise guest that is kind enough to join us. And, Coach, it's always fun to catch up with you. How are you today, sir?
Well, I'm good. It's kind of nice not to be talking about soccer. I'm sorry, all the fans. It's great to see the fanship, but
yeah,
I don't want to discuss soccer. I'm okay.
Fair enough. This will be a soccer-free conversation.
Perfect.
So with Big 12 Media Days starting today, it just got me to thinking, especially after covering the SEC spring meetings, Coach, that the gambling aspect and to me, two of the bigger issues around college sports are gambling and agents. What do you? Am I off base? Tell me what you think, sir.
Well, it's a problem. Obviously, there's two things. First of all, it's what my mother told me at 15 when we lost my father. She said, "Never forget. It's not the money, it's the desire for money that is the root of all evil." My mother was a very wise person, and I see that more than ever. And so both things you talked about are all about money. The reason we have agents now in amateur sports, that used to declare you ineligible, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Well, now we can't declare anything anymore. We go to court. And then the other thing that you talked about gambling, look at kids on their phones.
Yeah.
They can do all this on their phone and they have money. And we know that is an addictive practice. Thank the good Lord I never had any money to get addicted to it as a kid,
Yeah.
And I tried like crazy to squeeze what I could that I had hard enough that it might multiply. That didn't work. And, it is absolutely a true problem. I don't know that it's getting as deep as throwing games, but when they're around it and they're doing it, it can happen. It's almost too obvious in football if somebody's laying down, unless they're all crooked. The teammates, the coaches, there'd be too many people in-house. So I don't think it's to that, circumstance, but it brings the wrong people into the game.
Yeah.
And it also then allows to be paid for information. Not that they're going to throw a game, but the biggest concern I had was people talking to people they shouldn't be talking to about injuries on their team, or what kind of practice we've had, et cetera. So, yeah, they're both huge. And then I'm the one that doesn't like us going to Washington, D.C. I heard what you said about the commissioner.
Yes, sir.
The Big 12. They got their own set of problems. And what I'm hearing and seeing is that nobody there agrees again on anything up there, including college athletics. And, I think I've told you before, people, when they start talking about college athletics, use the 24-letter vocabulary. Y'all have heard that from me before,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So if we're not going to tell people no, if we're not running the show, then there is no show, in my opinion. So there you go.
There's a lot to chew on right there, Coach. And the further we go down this path, though, especially hearing from Senator Cruz in that last hearing that, at least that I saw on C-SPAN, he was basically calling this this or nothing. And the more they go down this road with this bill, the larger this bill's getting. And scares me away, honestly, Coach.
Well, that's where I am. I don't think there's a term, being a practitioner, which means you have been in it, you have done it, you have lived it, you have seen it, you have felt it. We do not have very, very few. I know coaches are going, and I know Nick's done a great job of really diving and giving of his time to do this. But there are very few practitioners in the end making these decisions. And again, it's again the money. I mean, geez, it's enormous. And to me, the losers are the fans. And I'll tell you, I'll give you this gift of a little, thought. I got too much time on my hands now. I read every morning, and then I write a little bit every morning. But the thing that the losers, the extreme losers, I think are players, ultimately just long-term ability to live. But I think it's the fans. If you're an avid college football fan, which I am surrounded by, when I was going to games for the SEC, I spoke with them. I wanted to learn how they were feeling. And, everything has escalated in cost, from concessions to the price of admission. But it's not that. It's that they don't really know their team. They don't fall in love with, very many of them are there for 4 years, 5 years, if you would, a red shirt. It's very unpredictable. And so I spoke to a coach today, and I told him, I said, the danger is for you guys, because as a fan, caring about the program, caring about the kids, and just a total buy-in has become rare. All they care about is win big. You better win big or we want you gone. And I said, and that's exactly what it's come to. If you're not, quote, in the playoffs, why do you think coaches are the ones that holler about it, want more teams in the playoffs? Because that's a measure of success.
Yeah.
If you don't make the playoffs, you're not worth a darn, right?
Well, Coach, you're hitting on something that I had a debate with an Atlanta sports talk host, and I was of the argument that rivalries are more important for the health of college sports than the playoff. And he took the opposite, where he believes that the playoff, it's that the college football, it's all about the playoff. To me, the root of it all is the rivalries.
Well, that goes back to the fans.
Exactly.
What made the rivalries? And so if we don't care about that, it's not college sports anymore. If, in football, really, particularly at that level, is not a playoff sport. It's not going to necessarily say which team was best all year long. The ball bounces differently in football. So you get in the playoffs, and, if you're within that top 10 range of teams, they're at the end, or you're healthier than another team, quote, through the playoffs, you might be declared national champion, and you really weren't the best team. Yeah. Best tournament we ever had was the regular season in college football. Man, was it important. As a coach, you felt it. You know, I've been there and done that, where you lose one game and it cost you a national championship. And I think at the end of the year, we may well have been the best team in the country. You know, we beat Miami 35-7 in the Sugar Bowl.
That was a great game.
Yes, and I really believe we may well have been the best team in all of college football. But you know, it happens. But I mean, and you just accept it. We shouldn't have lost the game we lost. You know, I personally take credit for that. You know, it's just hard. But yeah, I'm not a fan of it. Now, we need answers. I appreciate the politicians giving answers. I appreciate Coach Saban giving answers. I appreciate people seeking. But you've got to quit using the 24-letter alphabet. We have to say no. We're not doing that. You know, we're not going down that road. We have to say no to agents being able to grasp as much money as they're grasping from these kids without being registered or licensed even. You know, and it's just, well, I told you, Francis Cutcliffe said it best. I've slowly watched the desire for money take over college football. And it's always been there to some degree. Listen, okay? Just ask Coach Bryant, Coca-Cola and Golden Flake, right? You had to have sponsorship, you know? And, you know, but not like it's driving things. And then last thing I'll say, I had a couple of ADs that made the comment to me, well, they're adults. I said, man, I can tell you've never coached or been really with them every day. No, they're not. They're children. And you're trying to treat them like adults. And what you're going to get are these horrible things that occur when you give a child that much privilege and money. They're going to act age appropriate, not appropriate, age appropriate. And you're going to have, God forbid, wrecks and arrests, and I could go on, obviously. So, you know I'm standing on the corner preaching and nobody's listening, but that's okay. It makes me feel a little bit better to preach every now and then, right?
Well, we need some preaching.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
So,
because right now it's go ahead, Coach. I'm sorry.
I'm not afraid to say no, and I'm not afraid to tell the truth. And, you know, public opinion should start swaying in that direction, because that's still the loudest voice everywhere. If we back it up, we say what you mean. My first thing I said when I went back to Tennessee that I had seen, it was, you know, after being out a year, I told the offense, okay, here's number one. And you don't really have to remember anything else from me. Say what you mean and mean what you say. That's it. Doesn't get any more complicated, simpler than that. So if you say you're going to do something, if you say you're going to be somewhere, if you say and believe in what you're talking about, just simply say what you mean and mean what you say, and I would hope that the public will do that. That's our chance.
Well said. And I just because we're about to go to SEC Media Days. There's a two-time SEC champ, and I'm sure the topic of the playoffs will be a bigger topic than a team potentially going for a three-peat in the Georgia Bulldogs, Coach.
Yeah. It's just, you know, I don't know. Again, I revert back to my mom, and you know, the other thing she told me about 2 months after that, trying to play sports. I loved them all, and football and preparing for football in the summer, I'm having to work to have money in our household. And I made the mistake of telling her that this is too hard. she grabbed me by my shirt and she pulled me up close to her face. She said, "Boy, I don't ever want to hear you say that again. The next time something gets really hard, start smiling because you're getting better." Ooh, okay. You know, Frances knew what she was talking about. She became a full-fledged adult in the 6th grade when she came home from school, and her mother had passed away from a stroke, and she had to take siblings back to Mumford in Talladega County to get her mother's body buried.
Wow.
And then she became an adult. So how big a fool was I to say something was too hard? Yeah, if she could have, she would have hit me over the head with a hammer. That's how mad she got. So she was just a good old country lady, you know.
Perspective right there. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Coach, I can't thank you enough for the time. We always enjoy our visits. We'd love to visit with you right before we go to Media Days next week, Coach.
Yeah, give me a holler. And I hate not being there to see, you know, so many of my friends, but I am going to let y'all do all the work.
Thank you, Coach.
All right. Take care.
All right. That is Coach David Cutcliffe. Words of wisdom there from Coach Cut's mom. Very wise lady right there.
No doubt. You know, my grandfather died when my dad was 10, left my grandmother with 6 children.
Ooh.
And the first time Alabama got beat, while my dad was there, was against Vanderbilt. And I think they tied them. And my dad quit the team, left. Nobody knew, but he left and went home and said, "Mom, you know, this man's going to kill us." And she says, "You can't come home. There's nothing for you here." And you think about, we would ponder how hard that was for her back in the day, but she sent him back.
That's pretty wild.
Nobody even knew he was gone.
Wow.
But you know that could have changed. What if she's?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She needed him help. They worked the fields. They had all they needed him back, really.
Mm-hmm.
But
she was thinking about him.
Yep.
Wow.
And how these little things and what the mothers do and say to you change your whole life. And you know, my mom used to talk about that all the time. So.
Derek Mason, head coach at Middle Tennessee State University, joins us next as he preps, by the way, for his 3rd season at MTSU. We'll talk a little bit about the Red Raiders coming off of a 3-9 campaign, but really I wanted to get Coach on to speak about his time up in D.C. prepping for his testimony in this Protect College Sports Act. That is next, right here on The Drive.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lindsay. Lionel Messi scored his 8th goal of this year's World Cup in the round of 16 match against Egypt, extended his record scoring streak to 9 straight in World Cup matches. It was his 21st career World Cup goal. Argentina scored 3 unanswered in the 3-2 victory. Will play Switzerland in the quarterfinals Saturday. The Swiss beat Colombia on penalty kicks 4-3. NBA, 1 down, 1 or maybe 2 to go in Cleveland. Cavaliers and guard Donovan Mitchell agreed to a 4-year, $273 million max extension. Cavs do continue contract discussions with James Harden and remain in the running for LeBron James with Mitchell, Harden, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. Cleveland, a perfect plug-and-play for LeBron, says ESPN's Chinea Bumake.
So when I look at the field and starting fives in Cleveland, and I'm LeBron James, and I love being at home, getting that home cooking, I might see like, oh, I can just insert myself at the 3. We can play small ball with me at the 4. We can go super big and play with me at the 3. There are options here that might actually really work.
League sources told ESPN's Anthony Slater Lakers continue to actively pursue unrestricted free agent wing Jonathan Kuminga, but they have not given him an enticing enough offer to commit. Knicks point guard Jalen Brunson underwent wrist surgery today. The NBA Finals MVP expected to return to basketball activities later this summer. He did play through the injured left wrist during New York's championship run. Pirates play shortstop Connor Griffin on the injured list with an injured left ring finger. He's likely out 8 to 10 weeks. Yankee slugger Ben Rice announced that he will take part in next Monday's Home Run Derby.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman, and coming up Wednesday, the ESPN Radio Rankem Series continues, and I'll tell you who I think the top 5 quarterbacks are heading into this season. It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
97.7 ESPN The Zone. Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. We drop into the lower 70s as we head into the overnight. We are going to be dry. Maybe a little bit of patchy fog develops. A mostly to partly sunny sky for your Wednesday. Temperatures climbing into the upper 80s and lower 90s. A couple of isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be possible. We're going to repeat this process on Thursday.
Your Fox 54 weather. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
Hour 2 here on a Tuesday. Wes Neighbors, Steve Moulton here with you as we head out to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. And Conference USA's kind of been reshuffled a little bit, but get ready, Jack State, because the Blue Raiders of Middle Tennessee State head to Jacksonville State on September 26th. But MTSU starts out with a home game against Murray State on September 5th, and I'm sure that has the attention of our next guest, but wanted to get Coach Derek Mason on, who's getting ready for his third year up there in Murfreesboro. How are you, Coach?
Wes and Steve, man, I'm good. Hey, man, it's good to hear your voice.
Likewise. And the last time I heard your voice, Coach, I cold called you after some text messages day before your testimony up on DC. Tell me a little bit about that experience for you, Coach.
Well, I think it was an opportunity for Coach Jack from Syracuse, Coach Huff, a couple of administrators, and a couple of student athletes to speak on, where we are in college athletics. It's not a terrible place. It's just an ever-changing place that really needs some governance. It needs some teeth behind it in order for us to put together plans and processes, man, that can be adjudicated and that can really continue to set us forward on this path. Because, as you know, college football has been an ever-changing landscape, or just college athletics in general, since 2020.
So, in terms of getting your message together, just tell me about just making sure you're saying the right things to the people who potentially are going to sign something into law.
Well, having a chance to get in front of Senator Coons, Senator Ted Cruz, and really talk about, some of the things in their bill. I mean, I tell you what, I don't think there's a perfect bill out there, but I think, with bipartisan sort of responses to, where we are, I think nobody thinks where we are, is the right place to be. And with that, just speaking to the idea of, hey, we need, some governance. We need some legislation. We need, strict rules around, transport portal and all these other things that I think, agents, for example, what that is. Most of the people that are representing the student athletes aren't even certified agents. So just trying to put some legitimacy, behind what we have instead of just making this, the Hunger Games or a rat race, for student athletes and for, people out there just to make a quick grab, for money. And education is more expensive than it's ever been. And so to grab an opportunity, or to seize the opportunity to make sure that student athletes, the education, the financial and fiscal responsibility behind that, for schools and for other people in and around the student athlete makes sense. So just trying to put some brick and mortar to and around where we are in college athletics.
Coach, both Alabama and Auburn, I guess administrations came out with a letter not wanting to do the bill. What are some of the things you don't like about it and some of the things you do like about the bill?
If we're talking about the legislation around, former Coach Tupperville, spoke to a little bit because, again, he's somebody who's been in and around the industry. And so, maybe he understands the landscape. I thought, I truly believe what he's talking about makes sense. Again, I don't think there's one bill that hits everything, but I think what he addresses in his bill, has a lot to do with, where we are and, what we can do to be better, in our spaces. I think, again, I spoke on, agents. I spoke on, in legislation around, like the idea of, what's fair and equitable opportunity, like for payment. I'm glad that the NCAA has moved towards 5 for 5, man, so we can get rid of 7 years and 8 years, right? Because, college is an experience within itself, but I think, like what we've created is a window of opportunity for people to try to, make sure that, like financially, like they can cash in. And we're talking about the money, but here's what I know. Okay, you can go to college. It's a great time to be in college. It's a great time to be an athlete, okay, and reap the benefits of the resourcing. But here's what it's not, right? It's not great when a college athlete can go to school. He can make some money, but here's what we know. In the grand scheme of things, okay, you're gonna work longer than you're gonna play football or basketball or any other sport that you play. So it is important to still talk about the relationships, the value of an education, and what that does. Because, like I said, you'll be working in the industry of business longer than you're playing, okay, in this business, industry of athletics.
It's not even close, right? I mean,
Not even close.
I was in college 5 years. I've been working for the last 40. At 35, I mean, it's not even close.
It ain't even close. And when we look back, right, I mean, we know this much. If they do it right, and there's some, fiscal responsibility and some fiscal education, accompanied with NIL or rev share or whatever they want to call it these days, because it has some different names and it comes in different ways. But here's what we know, right? If they can put it away, man, they have a chance to get way ahead.
Yeah.
But most don't. So when you look back, the starter kit, whether we're talking about the chain or the vehicle or any of the other things that are shiny at the moment, none of those things will be looked at 20 years from now.
They all depreciate.
They all depreciate, and you're going to look at it and say to yourself, hey, look, I wish I would have. Okay, instead of buying debt, okay, let's help young people put themselves in a situation where, that the investment opportunity or what it looks like 10 years from now looks way different, because the investment rule, the overall, rule about money and the investment opportunity that is right now for them, apparent, it just makes more sense. We don't know where we're going to be 10 years from now, 11 years from now, 12 years from now, but here's what I do know. If you enjoyed a little too much, what you'll realize is that when you look back, man, you wasted, something that could have provided a nest egg or an opportunity for you to have something that's much bigger.
Well, we had Lenny Acuff on, who's the head men's basketball coach at Samford a couple of weeks ago. He mentioned about the number of agents that have popped up in a big, big way in basketball. What is the percentage of athletes that have agents at Middle Tennessee for you, Coach?
I'd say it's probably in the 70th percentile.
Wow.
I think here's what we're going to see. In about 2 years, 100% of our athletes will have agents. Our walk-ons will have agents.
Whew.
I just think that's just the way it is, right? I mean, there used to be, so much trust, okay, in those relationships. But I'm not saying that the trust isn't there. I'm just talking about it's just become a little more transactional.
Yeah.
So with that being said, everybody thinks that they deserve something, and they should be in line for something. And with that being said, they need representation. Now, here's what I know. I still believe, and I think sometimes it gets a little messy nowadays with parents, but I do believe that most households have the best interest of the student athlete in mind. I'd rather have somebody that I trust giving me that information and sort of guiding me through this. But at the end of the day, I think that's where we see the rift, right? I don't know, once a student athlete is in college, it's different for different sports. But I think in football, like what we're seeing is a strain on the parental relationship, because if it is like about money and about resourcing and, everything is tied into this young man's investment into, and everybody sort of hitched their wagon to this, it's become, somewhat toxic. I'm not saying every relationship is.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's 50%. But if it's even 35%, that's an alarming number when we talk about,
An 18-year-old becoming the head of a household.
Yeah, who they can trust. Who is the breadwinner now? I don't know. So it looks different, but these are all things that we're tackling. These are all the things in college athletics that head coaches and programs are dealing with. But we still are coaching, in a wonderful time. We're still coaching wonderful student athletes, and we see an amazing product being able to be put, before cameras and before TV, nowadays. So I think our game is in a good space. We just need to make sure, man, that we can have that space to be in for the next, 100 or so years.
I'm trying to wrap my head around dealing with that type of situation that you're describing, Coach, for an entire squad. That is how in the world do you prep for what is going on right now? And oh, by the way, to win games as well.
I truly believe, man, that we've seen some things that have lifted and jaded people's opinion about how fast these things can happen. It started with Florida State a couple of years ago, and what it looked like, what the transfer portal can be, and then it became this thing where there were some coaches pushing back against it, and there were some who fully believed in it, and you've been able to see the success of Indiana. I mean, you saw it with Ole Miss and what Coach Kiffin did there, right?
Yeah.
Here's what I believe, right? I believe that the portal can be great as long as it fits you. I think it benefits. Power 4 teams immensely because of the ability to cherry pick or pluck talent, from FCS and group of 5 or 6 programs. That's part of it, and that's great. But I think with fair market and free agency available, that's just where we are. Nobody's mad at it. Nobody can be mad at it. It's not about being upset. It's about understanding, like where we are and where are you on the food chain. I know where I'm at, in our program, and what I have to do and what I've done is take my time to build out the culture. Has it taken a little longer than what I wanted? Absolutely. But I wasn't trying to turn it overnight. Yeah. I didn't think NIL or rev share or any of these new things were just going to be the simple fix. I felt like, I had to establish a culture that fit me. And now, in year 3, I think I have a culture that fits me. I really don't care what other people outside think. People thought the same way when I was at Vanderbilt. They oh, well, I don't know if he'll ever get it done. And in year 3, okay, man, as I built it the way I saw it, okay, good things started to happen. So, like, for me, year 3s have been good. I'm in year 3, man, I've grown with our university and our administration in understanding not only how to attack rev share, NIL, but do it in an MTSU way, in a Blue Raider way that makes sense. So I feel good about where we're at.
From a recruiting standpoint, has that knowing where you're at and just part of the just part of the big college football creature that is running around right now, where a lot of some kids are feeding up the chain, so to speak. But in terms of maybe grabbing some high school kids that maybe you wouldn't have had that opportunity, Coach.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look, that's what I built it with when I first came here. If you look at the majority of our team, the majority of our team has been built through the high school ranks, and we've been able to add, pieces that continually fit. And there's some that we've went and sort of gotten out of the portal, man, who've been extreme assets, and there's some who, like, this wasn't for you. Okay, so we had to agree to part ways.
Yeah.
But when I look at this roster is 99.9% okay, Derek Mason. And I like that. I like that from a mentality standpoint. I like it from an X and O standpoint, and I like it from this idea of what it takes to play in this conference. I understand this conference a little better now, from midweek to other things. If you look at the progression, year 1, just no rev share and a pure struggle, like in this conference. Year 2, a little bit of rev share and a lot of close games lost. Now we're in year 3. There are no excuses and there are no explanations. This thing we're right where we want to be. We're at the back of the pack, okay, just like we're at the Kentucky Derby, and we're just looking to try to get from the back to the front.
Well, what's the biggest question you have about your team heading into the fall practice, Coach?
I don't have any questions about the athleticism. It's chemistry, right? This thing, when you have unknowns, we got a quarterback in Roman Gagliano who I think is going to light it up. But and that's just based on how he ended the season. He's an Opelika, Alabama product. I had a chance to watch him play when I was, coaching at Auburn. So I watched this young man grow up, and he was the first guy I signed when I got here, and so knowing where he is, knowing what he was able to do at the end of the season, it was about putting an offensive line around him. It was about bolstering the secondary so that we can play better pass coverage, because I thought we were solid in the run versus the run. We've addressed the issues that were our issues, but every season brings about new challenges. Our thing is now we see Mount Everest. We're going to look to climb it, and you climb a mountain like Mount Everest in stages. You don't worry. You don't just keep looking at the mountain hoping that you get there. You just hit it in stages. We got fall camp coming up, and after we get through the summer, and that'll provide us a base camp, and then we'll start climbing from there.
Wow. And I know you're talking about building up the roster, and how comfortable do you feel with your 2 deep on both sides of the ball right now, Coach?
I feel extremely comfortable about where we are. I mean, I've taken the majority of our rosters from the South. Okay, I've done a good job of recruiting in-state and hitting our brother and sister territories. Whether I'm talking about Alabama, Georgia, and Florida, that's where we've been making home. Okay, and we've touched on a couple of areas, but other than that, if we had to go get a junior college kid or two, man, that's really it. So, like, this team is borough built, middle made, from how it's put together, and then it's uniquely a footprint of the South, which I think it should be. That's where kids' parents can come and travel and watch them play. Okay, that's where this MTSU or this Middle Tennessee community whether we're talking about Shelbyville or North Nashville, they can come watch. Okay, man. If we're talking about Huntsville, they can come watch because we got players, out of there. The northern tip of Florida. Okay, Georgia, Alabama. I've been in those places. Parents, know who I am, and they believe in what I'm doing. So I just want to make them right. So that's what I plan on doing, making them right.
One of the changes that happened was the one transfer portal. Did that change at all tactics this past spring for you, Coach?
Oh, heck yeah. It changed it tremendously, right? We found ourselves in a situation a year ago where a lot of things hit us at once, right? The DSA, the Designated Student Athlete, tag hit us. We really weren't a team that was interested, last summer in recruiting or getting high school kids on campus because we thought we would have the opportunity like in the fall. But when you start to talk about the one window, it just sort of changed everything. And so we were late to the party, like a little bit. But it left us a window of being able to cultivate great high school talent because there were kids who were seniors while everybody had jumped on guys and solidified their classes, and there were still some guys who were seniors and playing senior games, man, who we were able to capitalize on, who wound up being extremely talented players. So, I mean, that's cost effective. Yeah. I mean, if you want to talk about what it looks like, because you're going to pay for a transfer guy, man, who's got experience, man. But if you can find some of that and still develop it, okay, man, you start to make it make sense for how you can manage your roster. So I thought it hurt us a little bit because we got caught, behind the eight ball, but we were able to, overcome that because, with some change in staff and with some pronounced recruiting and hitting certain areas like bolstering that offensive line, like being able after losing Jaquil Middlebrook to Virginia, and a couple of other guys, to P4 schools, we were able to get in and find the right guys because we had production to give guys. So whereas everybody else has sort of filled their rosters and done all their stuff, we found ourselves losing good players, but being able to get guys who had same or equal production. And that taught me some lessons about how fast we needed to go and how smart it was at times to save some spots so that we can sell the production to be able to get the right guy into the building.
Talking to Coach Derek Mason right now in the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. And, Coach, I've got to go back to D.C. for one more question, just because it's been a few weeks now. What was the reaction, at least from your family or some other coaches? Of what kind of reaction did you get from your testimony? Uh-oh. That wasn't the reaction I was anticipating.
I don't know what'd you say?
I seriously, I don't know if that was the exact reaction I was looking for there for Derek Mason, but I think the best way to put it is what Coach Mason was talking about the governance and being governed, but it did make me think about what Senator Cruz did ask the entire committee in his last question. Maybe his phone died. Maybe something.
That's what it sounded like.
But let me say this: college athletics is one of the very few things still left in our world that is pure, brings cultures together, brings race.
This is Coach Huff.
Creed, gender. Whether it's 100,000 people in a stadium or 100 people on the edge of a pool for 2.5 hours or for whatever the game time is, we all come together. And I think a lot of people who have nothing to do with college athletics, their lives are going to change because the purity of what we've known, whether you're cheering for Texas or whether you're cheering for Oklahoma or whether you're, neither and you're just at the game tailgating and enjoying that celebration, that's going to be no longer. Because we're going to be in a system that is completely broken. And the people that are going to get affected are not only the student athletes and administrators inside the entity, but it's going to be the people that work their tails off to go buy a ticket to see the Longhorns play.
That's a little bit there from Coach Huff, who was part of that.
Coach Huff's at Memphis now, right?
He is.
He's a good coach, I'll tell you that.
Well, Coach Mason's dodging some storms in the Nashville area, but he is back on with us over
Gotcha,
at
Coach.
Murfreesboro. Here he is, Coach.
Coach, I wanted to ask about just your reaction of what you got after testifying there in mid-June. What was the reaction like for you, Coach?
Okay. Look, I think, from our community, I think myself and Coach Huff, both, represented, Group of 5 football or Group of 6 football here in the state of Tennessee. And I thought we just spoke our truth, right?
Yeah.
And I think, our experience is different than our sister schools or our brethren schools here, like in the state. It just looks different.
Yeah.
The resourcing looks different, and what it does to our programs, is different. Now, some of the issues around portal, rev share, those are similar yet so different that I think that's why we were asked to be there. We were asked to give a perspective of how it's affecting us, because when you have a certain amount of resourcing, you don't feel it as much. And it looks like Memphis, who's slightly above us in terms of what that thing looks like. It does feel like the Hunger Games. Are you in District 6? Are you in District 3? Are you in District 5? Do I have a bow and arrow? Do I have a knife? Or do I have, something that can knock something down?
Yes, sir.
So I know it's funny, but
no, because it's true. I mean, it's what we hear. But from the bottom line, though, Senator Cruz's last question to the entire committee, and I know you answered it as well, but for those that did not tune in, that this was Senator Cruz's last question.
My view is this is the only train leaving the station, which is this bill, I believe, has a real prospect of passage. It is bipartisan. Anything to pass has to get at least 60 votes in the Senate. If you can't get 60 votes, it's not going to pass. And this is the only bill there is that has a real chance. And our objective is not to get 60 votes. I'd like to get a lot more than 60. I'd like to see a really strong bipartisan vote, which then sends this bill to the House and ultimately to the president for signature. In my view, anyone who's a critic, anyone who is attacking this bill, has the burden of saying, what's the alternative? If you don't like this bill, what's the alternative that actually has a path to being passed and signed into law? And so my question to everyone is, if this bill doesn't happen, I think the alternative is doing nothing. And my question is, what happens if Congress does nothing?
So has your answer changed over the last 3 weeks now that you've had time to reflect on your testimony, Coach?
Absolutely not. I do believe that where we are, we sit in a space where, there's going to continue to be carnage, like in this space. And we don't want to lose opportunities for, male and female student athletes to be able to play. But here's what I do know. Our great game is not just experienced by the people that play it. It's experienced by those whose families have gone to games for generations. And when it comes to have and have nots and people having to close shops, universities, see themselves as business entities at times. And with that being said, how long can you stay open for business when you're constantly operating in the red? Especially on the sports side.
Yeah.
Something's got to give, right? And so we talk about these teams that we revel in a little bit, right? We talk about these P4 teams, but what happens to a Bemidji State? What happens to an MTSU? What happens to a Northern Arizona? What happens to an Austin Peay? What happens to, in some of these smaller schools, man, that can't go the way of? People still go to these games. Families still enjoy, like the family traditions of going to watch, Saturday football. I don't care if it's Division II, Division III. Okay, man, it's college football, and it's towns and it's cities, just like Friday Night Lights. If Friday Night Lights were in jeopardy, then we'd be having a different conversation.
Yeah.
But I mean, everybody just wants to talk about the male and female student athletes, but it's bigger than that. What happens when like some of these schools don't have those activities? When you lose male and female sports or opportunities, does it change enrollment? Does it change the demographic of your university? So, like, to me, has it changed? Nah, it's still the same. It still looks the same. And I've been at, everything from high school to junior college to FCS all the way to the NFL. So I've been able to see all levels. I think I understand the business of each one of those levels, and I think it's important for us to make sure that we can continue to invest so that, our children and our grandchildren still have the same opportunities, whether it's play or being able to watch, schools. Some we know and some we don't.
So, Coach, I was wondering, when the SEC, I was against the SEC going from 8 to 9 teams for several reasons. Conference games, yeah. One was the unintended effect I think it's going to have on the non-Power 4 schools that they were playing.
Correct.
And
economic.
Nobody ever talked about that, though.
There's a reason why nobody talked about it, right? Nobody talked about it because they didn't care. This isn't. I truly believe, right? I mean, I don't think it's done intentionally. I think it's done because we're in an arms race. Right now, and I do believe that there's going to be a separation. Between that level, it's already started. Between Power 4 and everybody else, I think there's a definite separation, and that's already started. And it's going to come to a head here in the next 24 months, in my opinion. As somebody who's seen college athletics from broadcasting lens, a coaching lens, player lens, I think I do have some understanding of where we're going, and that's okay. I think sometimes it has to reset itself in order for it to get right. But what we don't always see are the unintended, opportunities. I mean, if all we've done is create another level that looks like the NFL, or is it the NFL 2.0? Is that really what we're talking about? Do we lose? I'm not saying this, with anger or malice.
Yeah.
I'm saying this with a lot of truth. These schools love these rivalries. These schools wanted to see, these things happen. Why, man? Because they made sense. I mean, when I was at Vandy, I played MTSU because people wanted to see that game.
Yeah.
They wanted to see that game. I played Tennessee State University. Why? Because people wanted to see that game.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing it. I did it for two reasons. I did it because people wanted to see it, but I also did it because, okay, man, it gave those schools, like economic life, and I think that's important. Like how we treat our brothers and sisters matters, like in a family, right?
100%. That's what I've been saying the whole time. The unintended consequences of, and everybody says they don't like these games, this or that. But I love them because
Oh, heck yeah!
Opportunities for everybody to get better, everybody to play in the game, and it helps the opportunity for the
development.
It helps community.
Exactly.
It helps development. It helps communities, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the economic windfall of keeping some of that resourcing in our communities, right? I mean, hey. People want to come. People want to see those games. People want to. Hey, they remember. You got guys who played against or played with each other in high school, playing against each other. There's some simple rivalries in there. I mean, there was a time where like MTSU played man and be man, right?
Yeah.
I mean, people want to see those underdog games, but also those games, are generally favorable to the team, man, that has more resources. But they're entertaining, they're fun. It adds again, to the lure of what college football is.
I mean, it provides big moments, too. I mean, if you're just even a casual football fan, you still know about Appalachian State going to Michigan and beating Michigan. So
Absolutely. I mean, people remember when MTSU played Miami.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's those things, man. You don't have those moments that are watershed moments for schools, universities, man, but even colleges. Now, yeah, maybe Miami didn't like it, maybe, but that doesn't matter. I mean, it provided lure, and even if it's once every 25 years, that's okay. It adds to the legend. It adds to the fun of the sport. It adds to the it just adds to the full.
It adds opportunity for more football players.
Mm-hmm.
It does, man. It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, special. So, I mean, I was so against it for a number of reasons, but that was definitely one of them.
Was there any message that you didn't get across to the committee that you wish you would have, Coach?
I don't think so, because it wasn't just me, right?
Yes, sir.
I think between myself and the other panelists, hey, man, Coach Huff is extremely bright. I mean, man, we had a university president, and we had an SWA. We had student athletes that spoke their perspective. I thought it was a well balanced conversation, to be honest.
It was,
and I think we touched on the things that sort of were on our minds, but I think also these things that a lot of people we tried to speak, for those who weren't there, and I don't think it was about agenda as much as it was about just information and just trying to provide perspective. For those who are trying to make policy, but we live it every day. There's a difference between making a policy and just having some idea what it is, and then having a conversation or a roundtable about, okay, how do these things really affect you?
Yeah, I was locked in, Coach, and I don't watch a whole lot of C-SPAN, but I've been watching way more C-SPAN than I've wanted to during this offseason. I'm ready for some football, Coach.
Hey, I'm ready for some football too. It's all, again, right? All this leads up to the prize. It all leads to the college football season. And I know, hey, man, it's great to have soccer on right now. I'm sure everybody's enjoying, FIFA and the World Cup and, what that is. But, we got football right around the corner. And let me tell you, at all levels, I don't care if we're talking about Pop Warner all the way to the NFL. Okay, you can smell it. The air's starting to get a little thick.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's coming.
Absolutely. We cannot thank you enough for coming on and sticking it out through that rainstorm up there in the boroughs. So,
Coach, you play hurt in the bad weather. I love it.
Hey, listen, I've had my fair share of bad weather games.
Can't thank you enough, and best of luck this season. We'll be in touch, though. Get you back on, Coach.
All right. Take care, and talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. That is Coach Derek Mason heading to year 3 there up in the borough, dodging the raindrops, and imagine a few rumbles of thunder up there as well. But, circle your calendars now for MTSU at Jack State.
Oh, I've got it lined up.
That's why I went there.
You ready?
That's why I went there for.
No, I actually got something cooking. We'll see.
Okay, September 26th at Jacksonville State. Come on now. 6 o'clock kickoff time. 6 o'clock kickoff time. Let's take our first time out. We're just 45 minutes past the hour here. A little bit, but that was a well worth it conversation.
Rule number 1, don't get in the way of a good story.
It's it was interesting to hear his thoughts of testifying up there in D.C. as well. Take a time out. We'll open it up to your phone calls and then make way for the Rocket City Trash Pandas. Are they playing in this?
Absolutely. They're playing right now.
And they are taking on Chattanooga.
They're playing Chattanooga Lookouts all this week.
Taking on the Chattanooga Lookouts.
All sorts of fun things planned for Toyota Field this week.
That's right. That's right. We'll have an opportunity to hear from you next, right here on The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Abraham here from my good friend Bobby White at Lynn Leighton Ford, where you never find some mysterious dock fee that could be like $600, $700, or $800. A dock fee is an add-on that some dealers will charge just to do the paperwork on your deal. Now, Wes and I just bought F-150s at Lynn Leighton, and we're amazed at the ease of getting the deal done. Transparency is important in buying these days, and that's what you get at Lynn Leighton Ford in Decatur. Lynn Leighton offers an extensive new and pre-owned inventory, as well as lease specials, finance options, and expert auto service. They are dedicated to providing exceptional customer service and are an integral part of our community. Believe me, it is worth the short ride over to Decatur to see what Lynn Leighton Ford has to offer, just a mile west of the Beltline on 6th. At Lynn Leighton, there are no mystery fees, just great prices. It's the Lynn Leighton way. We made the move, and so should you, to Lynn Leighton Ford.
When a team sticks together, it shows in the way they work and the way they treat you.
We don't just hire great people, they stay. On average, our managers have been with us over 15 years, and company-wide turnover is under 3%.
It's a culture built on integrity and heart.
When you call, you get someone who knows your name, understands your business, and is invested in your success.
And that means service you can count on every time.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Welcome to Curtin Electrical, where teamwork powers every project. Our champion sales team takes time to understand your needs, tailoring the perfect Generac generator for your home or business. Our project managers handle all coordination, ensuring a tackle-free installation. Our certified installation crews ensure peace of mind, even in the darkest moments. With our service and maintenance lineups, you can be assured we're with you every step of the way. Experience the home team advantage of Curtin Electrical, your Generac superstore.
Most current way to keep your power on. GeneracSuperstore.com.
Welcome to Southern Wagyu Steakhouse and Meat Market in Huntsville. From hand-cut premium steaks and chef-crafted Southern favorites to phenomenal made-from-scratch desserts and restaurant-quality meats you can take home. Every meal is made with passion and served with genuine Southern hospitality. Join us for lunch or dinner. Attend a monthly 5-course supper club or stop by to stock up your grill. You'll see that we deliver excellence from prep to plate. Southern Wagyu Steakhouse and Meat Market, corner of Highway 72 East and Jordan Road. Come taste the difference.
Your Rocket City Trash Pandas are back home July 7th through the 12th. Promotions include the return of Dinosaur Weekend on the 9th and 10th, a wrestling mask giveaway on the 11th, and kids run the bases after the game on the 12th. Get your tickets and learn more about our weekly promos by visiting tptix.com. That's tptix.com.
I'm Bill Crawford, the host of The Point with Bill Crawford. Tune us in Monday through Friday from 2 to 4 p.m. on Talk Radio WZZN.
Final call for phone calls Thursday. We're at Full Moon Barbecue. You can enjoy some Full Moon Barbecue right now for half off. Head over to our website, 977ESPN.com.
You know, I cheated for 4th of July. I went over to Full Moon. I got a deal. and went over to Full Moon, and that we did Full Moon barbecue for 4th of July. You know what?
I did it too.
I didn't have to do the work.
I did it too.
I didn't have to do the work, and I got half price on everything.
So, okay, from me to the listeners out there, if you use the full deal, if you just use the full deal, there is and I've done it here to feed us.
Yeah.
There is a brisket deal that if you just order that plus like one other side, you're walking out spending $5.
Yeah. And you're the hero walking in the house.
It's brisket.
It's good.
It's brisket. So there's that. Head over to our website, 977ESPN.com. Click on the Big Zone Deals. We'll be there Thursday at Full Moon Barbecue. Just heard back from Coach Mason. Appreciate his time as he gave us an extended visit in a big way. Appreciate Coach Cutcliffe for hopping in as well. If you missed any of our interviews, head over our website, again, 977ESPN.com. Click on the podcast portion on the tab there. Or you could go to SoundCloud. We also upload all of our shows as well as all of our play-by-play over on SoundCloud if you'd like to partake there. Another list came out earlier today. This list ranks the SEC coaches. The USA Today ranked every SEC coach entering in to the 2026 campaign. Number 1, Kirby Smart. Number 2, Steve Sarkisian. Is Steve Sarkisian the second best coach in the SEC?
Well, I don't think by head coach standards, no. I mean, he made the playoffs once. Did he make the playoffs? No,
yeah. He's made it. Yeah. Remember, they had a fairly strong showing at Ohio State, if memory serves.
Yes, they did. That's right. They had a good team that year. That's right.
Number 3 is Kalen DeBoer at Alabama. Number 4, Lane Kiffin at LSU. He is the 4th best coach in the SEC. Number 5.
And lies about his dog.
And he lies about his dog.
I'm not letting it go.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't.
Steve's let it go already.
No, absolutely not. No, I'm going to ask him.
No, I'm getting Drew to ask him. You thought you had your opportunity.
You want Drew to ask this question.
Because he'll follow up.
What do you mean he'll follow up? When you ask the question.
He'll stand there until he gets an answer.
No, when you ask the question, the man or woman grabs the microphone from you as soon as you're done.
Don't take anything away
so
from
you
Drew.
Can't say.
There's a finger.
Nothing like that.
You mean you can?
Yeah. Well, see, what we do is we give Drew $20 and he'll lick the microphone.
All you got to do is get him a brisket sandwich. He's all in.
Yeah, get one of the little windscreen on it that smells like brisket.
This is sounding better and better. I like this. For those that did not join us right out of the gate, that don't know what we're talking about, it's all about juice. It's all about the juice.
Yeah.
It's all about Juice Kiffin. The 5th
I just
best.
Can't get over that.
I'm not getting over it. I'm not letting it go.
You shouldn't.
Don't lie about a dog. Dogs are better people than people. Don't lie about them.
The 5th best coach in the SEC, Josh Heupel, Tennessee.
Keep going because I'm not sure.
6th, Mike Elko, Texas A&M. 7th, Eli Drinkwitz, Missouri. Number 8, John Summerall, Florida.
I'd have put him higher.
Number 9, Clark Lee at Vanderbilt. Your 10th best coach.
Yeah, I think Clark Lee's higher than that.
Who would you bump?
Well, I think Elko's higher.
Yeah.
But to me, and
Venables is number 10, by the way.
I don't know. I think he should be. I don't know. Keep on. I don't know.
11 is Golish at Auburn. 12, Pete Golding at Ole Miss, and he has playoff wins on his resume.
Yeah, I don't see how you do that.
13 is Shane Beamer at South Carolina.
I have to agree with that.
14 is Will Stein at Kentucky. 15 is Jeff Lebby at Mississippi State. And the worst coach in the Southeastern Conference, according to the USA Today, is Ryan Silverfield at Arkansas.
Huh.
Not sure I'm on board with this, especially Sarkisian, the second best coach in the SEC. 4 was Lane Kiffin. How many conference titles in the SEC as a head coach does Lane Kiffin have?
Same as Sarkisian.
Yeah. Kalen DeBoer has played for 1. Steve Sarkisian has played for 1. Is Kalen DeBoer the third best coach in the SEC? How big of a year is it for Kalen DeBoer?
Well, who's better than Kalen DeBoer? That's what I want you to think.
Kirby. Right now, just resume to resume.
He's on there.
Yeah, he's number 1.
Yeah, so we've mentioned Kirby. Well, I agree that Kirby's the best coach.
Just resume-wise, but who would want to hire right now?
Well, so I think anybody that has a playoff victory is up there.
So DeBoer, Smart. There's a reason I'm pausing.
Well, no, I think Sarkisian had a playoff victory.
1? Yeah. Did he have 1?
He beat Clemson, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. You're right. So,
I mean, I think Sarkisian's a good coach. They got. I don't know anybody on the staff. Well, I might if I look, but I don't know anybody really well on the staff. My question to Texas is how they get stuck with that offensive line last year? I mean, because they that was their deal. You go back to the Michigan. I mean, to the Ohio State game. They had the ball at first and goal at the 1 and didn't score. In the playoff game and in the and that was the difference in both games.
Yeah. Lane Kiffin, the 4th best coach in the SEC.
I think Lane Kiffin's obviously has won everywhere he's been.
He has.
So I mean,
to which I'm hearing Drew DeArmond, who sits in your seat, pound the 1 what? 1 what? 1 what?
Well, he's won several national championships as
an assistant.
Yes.
And a couple of conference titles at FAU.
Yes.
To which I hear Drew say, so.
Well, no, that's something. He's never been there. I've been there.
Yeah. Elko, to me, is the most intriguing because this is now 2 years in a row where Texas A&M had a great start and just fizzled at the end. 2 years in a row. See what happens this go around.
Well, I mean, there's a lot to that. First of all, if you watched the team play last year, you could tell they were a good football team.
Yeah.
And they got beat by 2 really good football teams at the end.
They did. Yeah.
But if you look, So if you talk to people at Texas A&M, which I do, they'll tell you that the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator had 1 foot out the door. They're already hired by people, and that affected the team. In the playoffs. It's going to be interesting to watch this year because I think Texas A&M has a chance to win the conference.
We still have yet to complete our stock up, stock down. We'll dive into that tomorrow. We stopped at teams that made it to 500 in SEC play, a feat that will not happen this year because there's 9 conference games. There will not be a 500 squad in SEC play this year. By the way, the Pirates are pounding the Braves 7-2, bottom of the 4th. That lead just keeps evaporating and evaporating. When's the All-Star break? I need a break from these Braves.
They need a break.
Yeah.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. Your home of the Crimson Tide Sports Network.
Over there for Chattanooga in the third base dugout. No balls and 2 strikes as Rocket City suddenly a base hit away from maybe tying this ball game up. They've got one in. They wheel Thompson around to the right. 3-1 Chattanooga with the lead. Jake waits, open stance, the 0-2. Here it is. Swung, popped up. Foul ground third base, long run Collier. Does he have room? No, he doesn't, as it continued to carry into the seats about 3 rows back. Off the bat, I thought it was going to stay in play. It didn't. While we have a moment, let's take a moment for station ID. This is Trash Panda Baseball on the Trash Pandas Broadcast Network and Valley Sports Live.
HD 97.7.2, WZZN FM, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. Talk Radio, WZZN.
Thompson walks back to home plate and picks up the war stick.